really good piece by Matt Iglesias on why there is such fanaticism amongst the villagers, the establishment in this country, to cut to cut Social Security. He says the important people capitalized, so that you know he's talking about a specific subset of people in our society. The establishment absolutely despise Social Security, and he says that there's a deep logic to their hatred. You have to appreciate not just the existence of the hatred, but its source to understand the game being played here. It goes way deeper than the fact that lots of people don't like taxes and thus don't like spending that leads to taxes. It is that Social Security is special and especially despised because lots of important people care a lot about the economy. He capitalizes that as well. He says the economy consists of adding up all the economically valuable stuff that happens. And with most government spending, you can make some kind of case that the spending boosts the economy. The economy wants you to spend money on things that can be plausibly described as investments that drive future prosperity. That can include education. That can include government services. That could include food safety, infrastructure, whatnot. However, mailing a check to your grandma does not fit the bill. He writes, you've got this big scheme to levy taxes on working people who are participating in the economy and transfer money to people who've dropped out of the economy. In other words, retirees. They take that money and use it to pay the electricity bill and buy a cookie for their grandkids. But if they didn't get that money, they'd probably have to work longer and spend more years being part of the economy. They'd have to spend their working years being thriftier and amassing more savings via the magic of the financial system. Finance private sector investments in the economy. The economy thrives on incentives. If you work, we'll give you money. And if in desperation, if you want money, you have to work. And Social Security is a double whammy, reducing the incentive of workers and reducing the desperation of the elderly. The important thing to note about this hatred, it is not that it's not unjustified. The haters aren't wrong. Retired people don't boost the economy. Trimming their cost of living adjustments does. The more you trim, the more boost you get. Doing the reverse of Social Security and saying that everyone over the age of 65 has to write a check to the government or be turned into Soylent Green would boost the economy even more. Because that money that you save from, basically steal from workers' wages on some level, frankly, that money that you save from, forcing grandma essentially to eat less food or keep the temperature down at 63 instead of 67 or 8 in her apartment, or that she can go out to see a movie, all of that money supposedly will get into the economy more if it is not with retired people. This is the source, he says, of their hatred of Social Security. And I think all you need to do is look at that rich guy, that old coot, Alan Simpson, who doesn't rely on Social Security to live his luxurious life. In fact, he relies on saying that we should cut it now at $40,000 a pop for a speaking engagement. He relies on that. But that's why he describes these people as teat suckers and as stealing money from young people and as parasites. Because the idea of retired people living with some shred of dignity, if they can't command $40,000 a speaking engagement to call for the cuts to their life, is an anathema to him. He hates it because, of course, it's not what he does. Which is why, of course, you only see either young people who think that they won't need Social Security, who have been listening to Simpson, whether he appears on Jon Stewart's show or does some dumb Gangnam Style dance, and rich people call for cuts to Social Security. And then you've got the rest of the country, the 80%, who basically say, don't cut our Social Security. Cut defense. Raise the cap on Social Security taxes, whatever. We don't want cuts. We don't want cuts to Social Security, and we don't want cuts to Medicare. Save that money off of other people's backs, people who don't need that money. And that's going to play a big part in these negotiations that are coming up. And it's arguably going to be it may not be the last of these battles. So there's an argument it's going to be the biggest, most important argument of the next at least 2 years. We could see it happen again, which would make it less so. But it's one that you should be aware of the context in which this is being fought.